Hello, and a very warm welcome to my channel. This morning, we give you a piece of breaking news. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were slammed as brazen, greedy, and completely hypocritical. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are currently living in Tyler Perry's $18 million mansion, having stepped back from royal duty in March. And today, according to Daily Mail, a new book is set to claim the Duke and Duchess of Sussex discussed Megxit before they got married, because the Duke was deeply unhappy for a long time. An insider told The Sun the seeds of Megxit were sown before they even got married. The truth is that Harry had been deeply unhappy for a long time. The source went on, and he and Meghan openly discussed going in a different direction well before they got married. They added that the biography will make clear that the choice to step back from life as a working royals was far from a snap decision. What? So why did they spend so much money on the big wedding and the big house? They could have retired from public life in London and lived in the small cottage instead of opting to upscale lavishly and then start a lecture tour whilst living larger than they needed to. They wanted it all: fame, fortune, and followers, but without the hard bits. This new claim actually makes them look even worse than they did before. Comment on the Daily Mail, an anonymous royal expert also angry and said, Harry only became a senior working royal in mid-2015. Why did he agree to become a working royal if he was so deeply unhappy? Why, when given the option before the wedding, did they both agree to continue working if he was so unhappy? Why request Frogmore Cottage and the renovations if you weren't planning on staying? The Kensington Palace apartment was already renovated for you and people rehomed, yet you turned it away. You also turned down the estate your father set aside for you. It's so incredibly dishonorable and downright devious, taking so much under false pretenses. Abandoning the Marines for Disney was bad enough. You are not going to recover from this. He continues, if it's true, this revelation really shows them to be users of the highest order. Didn't need all the lavish wedding and lodgings when, from the get-go, they never planned to stay. Be more like Edward and Wallace and keep your mouth shut. If that was indeed the case, and I don't believe for a minute that it was, they should never have married in the style they did. No moral compass, and back to this report. In April, the Mail on Sunday reported that the Duke and Duchess had cooperated with Omid Scobie and Catherine Duran on the explosive new book that risked inflicting further anguish on the royal family. Palace insiders expect the biography to paint a flattering portrait of the couple. There are fears it will also be score-settling exercise in which Harry and Meghan's strained relationship with the royal family and painful decision to quit Britain are revisited in uncomfortable detail. Co-author Omid Scobie, who has accompanied Prince Harry and Meghan Markle on a variety of royal tours, recently told the podcast, The AirPod, the tale has included twists and turns that even the Sussexes didn't expect. He said, this project started about 2 years ago, and there have been twists and turns that no one expected. This is something no one expected. Explaining that the biography gives a real inside account of their story, he said, I've been on so many engagements and around them as much as possible, and spoken to so many people in their lives, so no stone has been left unturned. I've seen the couple remain faithful in their own beliefs and stand strong in the face of adversities that have been publicly played out in the press, and I would like to think this tells the definitive version of their lives together. Wow, what a vile and conniving pair they are, and thanks to Omid Scobie, we now know. So brazen, it doesn't get much more duplicitous than this. They took the titles, the money, the house, and the exposure, the engagement, wedding, and travels that the royal family and taxpayers gave them. But they never wanted any of the mundane trappings of being a public servant, which is part and parcel of the whole setup. They were blind items about how much Meghan hated pressing palms with the little people and how she only wanted the big-ticket events with famous and important people. Honestly, how stupid could the royal family be to have ever let this woman cross their threshold? Background investigations had to have uncovered some of her unpleasantness and inappropriateness. They should have given Harry an ultimatum. They were never going to avoid the slur of racism so long as Meghan had an agenda to be world famous. Damned if they did and damned if they didn't. The royal family made a very expensive and foolish choice in bending to Harry's tantrums. Not only me, but many fans also slammed this couple. One said, if you were so unhappy, Hollywood Harry, then why didn't you and your vile wife go off somewhere and marry quietly and privately, saving the British taxpayers £6 million? If you were so unhappy, Hollywood Harry, then why didn't you leave instead of using £3 million of taxpayer money to decorate your cottage, which now sits empty? Sick listening to your whining, you odious, disgusting little prat. A fan agrees and said, they are common robbers. If it can be proven they planned their exit in advance of monetary gain, etc., they should be charged with a criminal or at least civil offense of accepting money, riches, goods, services, and expensive perks in the name of royal duties, in order to profit at the public's expense while bringing disgrace and disrepute to the crown and royal family. But, another fan explains, now that Harry and Meghan admit they discussed Megxit before they married, we can now rule out the reason Meghan gave for wanting to leave the UK was because she found it to be toxic. During the period prior to meeting Harry, when she was looking for a rich British man, she didn't appear to find the same atmosphere toxic, or else she wouldn't have stayed on to stalk Harry. I believe William and Kate are also living private lives. They only get photographed working. But it takes time and effort to establish boundaries with press, which again sound awfully like work, something deeply unhappy, no life skills Harry, and let's squeeze everything out of people before discarding them, Meghan, were not willing to do from the start. Meanwhile, the next fan, named Rita, sadly said, I feel sorry for the Queen. It seems everything she tries to do with regard to her family is wrong. Denied her sister the man she loved, and that didn't work out. Tried to arrange a good marriage for her son, that was a catastrophe. Indulged her grandson and gave him everything he wanted. It may be the downfall of everything she worked so hard to achieve. A fan replied to her, Rita, if this is true, then the fact that the Queen let them walk away with the titles, funding, and security costs. Everything about these two need to be transparent and scrutinized in full daylight. Who cares if the Queen wants Harry to be able to return to the folds of the family when this deal with Meghan Markle busts up? He's a middle-aged man and made his decision to disrespect his family, the institution, and the British people who did nothing but love the old Harry. Sadly to say. However, another user wrote, it was clever of the narcissistic actress to manipulate Harry to fall on his sword to cover the way she planned the whole departure even before the marriage. I hope that all of the poorest taxpayers refuse to fund any of the lifestyles of both of them. Not sure how they can lecture the rest of us to do the hard things when they decide not to do the hard things. How can you have it both ways? A fan also said, so if this is true, why didn't he just slope off with her to live a quiet life before they married? Wonder why Meghan didn't want that to happen. It's all a complete load of nonsense. She needed the titles. It's like the zillion royals still using hundreds of years dead titles to get free stuff. You see them all the time on here. If Harry wanted to leave, a more honorable thing would have been to have relinquished his position and declined royal titles. A publicly paid wedding, renovations to Kensington Palace, and Frogmore House. He should have married in private and left. He left his mother young. He is the future king's brother, but not on the same level as his brother. His wife will never be as well liked or as well respected as Kate, and their children will always be found lacking compared to William and Kate's children. I don't like them, but can understand why he wanted out, who wants to always stay to be compared with a sibling and always found lacking. For me, I think that Harry has better acting skills than his actress wife. Deserves an Oscar for his performance. Wonder if he paid for the 7 years of professional help to overcome this depression. A total waste of money, and proves his wife knew exactly what buttons to press to bring him around to her plan and way of thinking. The autobiography will paint this couple in glowing terms while settling old scores with the royal family who they considered deserted and abandoned them. Used and played the royal family and the public like a fine-tuned violin, all their privileges and money gained under false pretenses. Just goes to show Megatron will stop at nothing, selling everyone and throwing them under the bus, including Harry in order to pursue her own agenda. This woman is the epitome of evil, and she just can't keep up with all the lies she's spewing. Now it's not the toxic royals or the mean press that drove her away. No, it was Harry all along. And you, what do you think about this couple? Please let me know in the comment section below and we'll talk about them. If you see my videos so useful, remember to like and share for anyone you think they need it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to get more news from the royal family. Now, have a nice day and see you in the next videos.